call the meeting to order. If you would, please rise. I'm going to call on Commissioner Griner to lead us in the invocation and the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for all that you do for us each and every day, Lord. Just give us your wisdom tonight. Help us make the decisions we need to make for the county. And Lord, just bless our first responders and our military, Lord, and just thank you for all the men and women that died protecting our country, Lord. And today we just celebrated yesterday Memorial Day, Lord. And we just want to thank you for all that you do for us, and we love you very much. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Griner. All right, Commissioners, inside your package, you should have your minutes from the regular session of May the 12th. If there's no additions, deletions, or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move we approve.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Our only public hearing item tonight is the abandonment of the unopened right-of-way of Gay Road. Mr. Fletcher?
Yes, sir. At the April 28th meeting, the Board of Commissioners determined that the unopened right-of-way off of, known as Gay Road, which is off of Ridgecrest Street, has ceased to be used by the public to the extent that there's no substantial public purpose served by it, and that its removal from the county road system is in the public's best interest. This has been advertised in the paper. We have sent out certified mails and put up a sign, so this is ready for a public hearing.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Fletcher? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move into the public meeting portion of this hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this request? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this agenda item? Anyone that would like to speak in favor? Hearing none, we'll close the public participation portion of the meeting, and Commissioners, I'll turn it back over to you for your consideration.
Mr. Chairman, I move we abandon the unopened right-of-way of Gay Road.
We have a motion to abandon the unopened right-of-way of Gay Road. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6A is the Motorola Maintenance and Support Agreement for the jail software. Mr. Bayshore?
Yes, this will be the annual support for the Offender Track and Oracle software used for jail inmate maintenance.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Bayshore? Okay. Hearing none, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6B is to adopt the resolution accepting infrastructure for Cedar Point subdivision phase 2. Mr. Fletcher?
Yes, sir. Cedar Point subdivision is located off of Old Quitman Road. Engineering staff has completed our final inspection of the project, and the work is substantially complete. A couple of punch list items are still being worked on to address, but the final plat will not be signed until everything is complete. So this is for the roads and the drainage system. This is ditch section, so there's no curb and gutter. So it'll be ditches with the paved roads. It's on septic tank with a private well.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Fletcher? Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the resolution. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Griner. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6C is the service agreement with SGRC for the hazard mitigation plan update. Mr. Ty?
Yes, sir. At your last meeting, you awarded the Southern Georgia Regional Commission, SGRC, you accepted their proposal for performing the hazard mitigation plan update. And so this is the agreement for services between Lowndes County and SGRC to formalize that so we can begin that update process. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have about that.
Any questions from Mr. Ty? Did you hear none? Thank you, Mr. Ty.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to recuse myself.
I'm sorry?
I would like to recuse myself from this motion.
Recuse yourself? Okay, very well. Let the record show that Ms. Evans has recused herself from this discussion. Okay, if there's no other questions, then I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agreement for services between Lowndes County and the Southern Georgia Regional Commission and authorize the chairman to sign the agreement.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, agenda item 6D is to adopt the language access plan and the resolution for federal funded grants. Mr. McLeod?
Yes, sir. The language access plan is required for any local governments receiving federal grant funds. Because there is a population of 1,418 Spanish-speaking persons who speak English less than very well, Lowndes County will be agreeing to provide translated vital documents as they are relevant to the grant.
Okay, any questions for Mr. McLeod? Hearing none, now I'll entertain a motion.
I move we adopt the language access plan and resolution.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the language access plan and the resolution. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6E is the architectural services for a new community center for Clyteville Park. Mr. McLeod?
Yes, sir. A new community center for Clyteville Park was approved on the SPLOST 8 referendum. The concept for the new community center is to match the recently constructed community center in Naylor. J. Glenn Gregory Architects was the architect for the community center in Naylor, and staff proposes to use JGGA for the same design at 8% of the construction value.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. McLeod? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve J. Glenn Gregory Architects contract and authorize the chairman to sign the contract.
Okay, we have a motion to approve J. Glenn Gregory Architects for this project and authorize the chairman to sign the contract. Any second? Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6F is to approve the purchasing right-of-way and the drainage easements for Clayton Road and Simpson Lane, the T-Splosh paving project. Mr. Fletcher.
Yes, sir. We have one parcel of land that has 28 rightful heirs. I believe there's about 11 or 12 of those heirs that are represented here with this. We're going to be purchasing a portion of their rights from them under this agenda item.
Okay,
So this is all for one parcel.
one parcel. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Fletcher?
Just on one, Mr. Chairman, I want to just get an idea of the timeline we're looking at, Mike.
We are probably 60 days from going out to bid. I would think we're 60 days. We've got one piece of property that is being advertised in the paper for a administrator of an estate to be established. So but there was no opposition to this. Everybody that was a rightful heir has agreed to it. They have signed, all of them have signed agreeing for that person to be the rightful, or the administrator. And so we're probably 60 days from going out to bid, so we're probably 90 days from now before we'll bring it to y'all for approval of a contract.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the acquisition from the various grantors of the identified properties for the purchase prices and terms of the acquisition for the property as set forth in the deeds.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7, County Manager's Report. Mr. Pritchard. Okay, Commissioners, citizens wishing to be heard. We have 2 citizens wishing to be heard. Ashley Prain, please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello. My name is Ashley Prain. My address is 4008 Danube Circle, here in Valdosta. So I just wanted to come and speak to you all today to kind of share my experiences volunteering with Keep Lowndes County Valdosta Beautiful. I started volunteering with them in about 2012. And in these 8 years, I've had incredible experiences, which I've been able to share with my family. I have 2 really young brothers. We've participated and volunteered in all of the cleanup events, and it's just been an amazing way for me to pass down kind of the value of citizenship and environmentalism to them. The events they really enjoyed, they had no problem making them a tradition. In that time, I also worked with them as a student at Valdosta State. We had partnerships and created innovative ways to address environmental issues. And I just really believe that it's a vital, important organization in our community. During my time volunteering at those events, I saw hundreds of volunteers come from different agencies and institutions, Moody Air Force Base, South Georgia Medical Center, and Valdosta State. So it's more than picking up trash. It's cultivating a culture of awareness and mindfulness about our community and making it a beautiful place to be. When I do get to travel around, it's always nice to come home where it's pretty and there's not trash everywhere. And I think if we all continue to work together to kind of make sure that that mindset is a priority in our community, then these issues will begin to heal themselves. And so I just wanted to express that to you all today. Thank you for being here, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
You're welcome.
Okay, our next speaker is Mr. Michael Knoll. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
This is different to talk with a mask on. I'll give my best. Good evening, Chairman Slaughter and Commissioners. My name is Michael Knoll. I live at 2305 Glendale Drive. I'm glad to see you all happy and healthy, although I think I forgot to shave this morning, but then I noticed I wear a face mask you won't see. So in any case, let me come directly to the point. Let me first thank you, Chairman Slaughter, for meeting with me last week to discuss the situation KLVB is currently facing. Last week's meeting, and as well as comments made in March, helped me better understand what I believe are misconceptions and misunderstandings in regard to KLVB. Let me explain. And you have a reader in front of you that you can use at any time to follow my discussions tonight. If you look at KLVB's founding ordinance from 1997, which is the first document you find in this reader, you will find that Section 7.102 describes in detail the duties of our organization. These duties are verbatim picked up in Article 1, Section 2 of the bylaws of our organization, which are also in your reader. Our duties are also many times reiterated when you take a look at the county's annual operating budgets. I have a few examples of those in your reader. KLVB is described as follows. Keep Lawrenceville does the beautiful practices, promotes and encourages environmental stewardship through public education and community-based projects which emphasize waste reduction, litter abatement, and beautification throughout Lawrence County. This is exactly what KLVB has successfully done for more than 2 decades, and with the help of thousands of non-paid volunteers, such as Mrs. Prain, you just heard a few minutes ago. We also adjusted and expanded programs when needed or when specific issues emerged, provided that we were made aware of them. Communication is indeed the 800-pound gorilla, as you, Chairman Slaughter, put it in an interview with the VDT on February 1st. Communication is the key. So what is this really about? It cannot be about KLVB's performance because our organization has been regularly recognized for its work. Moreover, why would the county in 2016 even consider increasing KLVB's funding from $50,000 to $60,000 if we did a poor job? It also cannot be about money because A, funds we receive are not coming from taxpayers but from the county's landfill fund. Tipping fees at the landfill have increased significantly last year, and the county just invested into the creation of a litter program with 4 full-time employees. Although these days politics almost always make life more complicated than necessary, and I have seen this too many times, the main issue we're dealing with is really about communication. The county's budget process, which is also in the handout you have, clearly outlines the guidelines in regard to communication with its different divisions, departments, and agencies. Yet it seems that these guidelines are not always being followed. This has been particularly problematic for KLVB. I'll come to this in just a second. As a first for the county's annual operation budget for its 2020 report, it states that, and you have this also in your handout, for some time now, illegal dumping, litter control, and beautification has been a concern of the board. Yet not once were these concerns shared with KLVB. I have no indication, no email, no other communication that would indicate that we were made aware of any specific issues, whatever they may be. Thus, I strongly believe that the county's decision to dramatically cut KLVB's funding as of 2020 is based on a number of misconceptions and misunderstandings, which I tried to illustrate a little bit earlier, plus a lack of communication. If communicative structures were followed as outlined in the budget process, I believe we, all of us, sitting at the same table, could have come to the following scenario in regard to the 2020 annual operating budget. This is the idea I wanted to share with you earlier. 1, the county recognizes the services KLB provides by practicing, promoting, and encouraging environmental stewardship through public education and community-based projects in our community. 2, at the same time, KLVB understands that it cannot function like the sort of litter program the county had, I believe, in mind in 2016 when he decided to increase our funding. We can't work like that. As we talked about, we're not there 5 days a week to pick up litter from the side of the road. Therefore, my suggestion is, and this is a suggestion that I hope you will consider, is that KLVB's funding will return to pre-2016 conditions as originally granted in the amount of $50,000, while the KLV board is encouraged to exercise its authority, and this is different from a duty, its authority to raise additional funds as needed and as outlined in Section 7-103 of the founding ordinance. I truly and honestly believe that none of what we're dealing with right now would have happened if we all had sat together and talked about it. And communication is the key, and that goes both ways. Thank you so much for listening, and this mask is not standing above my nose, but I hope you will forgive me for that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there's one thing that I think that there might have been just a little bit of misunderstanding about our citizens to be heard portion of the meeting. Everyone is welcome in the community to come and participate in the citizens to be heard. We haven't foregone that process as you've seen. All we're asking is that when you do attend the meetings, is that you do wear your mask and practice safe distancing while you're here in the chambers. So just wanted to clear that up. So, commissioners, any comments? Any questions? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.